Good morning students. Today we'll start the bio portion of our syllabus, chapter 6, that is life processes. Okay, now today we are starting the first part of this chapter. The first part would be introductory part of this chapter. Okay, so before starting the chapter like life processes, first let understand the meaning of life processes. Okay, so life processes means first is life and second is processes. Life means in our lifespan from birth to death. Okay, life means what? Life means from birth to death. From birth to death, whatever the activities are performed by our body is known as processes. The processes mean activities. Okay, life means the period between birth to death, and in that period, whatever the activities are performed by our body, okay, activities performed by our body is known as the life process. Which are the activities in our life period the body is performed? First is, for example, respiration. Second is circulation. Digestion. Absorption. Excretion, etc. These are some of the activities performed by our body. From life, birth to death, the various activities performed by our body system is known as the activities. Okay. Now, as we know that in class 9 you have already studied that the body, okay, living body. Living body, first is cell forms tissue forms organ forms organ system, and from all the organ system our body is formed. Okay, so living body comprises of cells, then tissue forms organ forms organ system, and from organ system the living body is formed. Okay, so various activities performed by us in our life processes or performed by our body in our life is known as the life processes. Clear? So, how we can define the life process? The definition of life process, or we can define the life process as the combined jobs of all the cells, the combined job of all the cells performed to maintain body system is known as life process. The combined job of all the cells combine and perform all the jobs, that is all the activities which we have mentioned: digestion, absorption, excretion, circulation, respiration. Okay, so the combined job of all the cells performed to maintain the body system is known as the life process. Okay, then we will define nutrition. Okay, see what is nutrition. Before understand the meaning of word nutrition, first we have to understand what is nutrients or what are the nutrients which are essential for us. So in the nutrition, first we learn what is nutrients. See, nutrients are those essential compounds or those essential components which are responsible for the growth and development of our body is known as nutrients. Okay, nutrients are those essential components responsible for the growth and development of the body are known as nutrients. The components which are essential for growth and development of our body are known as nutrients. Okay, what are the nutrients? Nutrients are the essential components responsible for the growth and development of our body. The example of nutrients we can take carbohydrates, proteins and fats, etc. Carbohydrates, protein, fat, etc. are the nutrients. See, when we say we should have a good immunity. Now during the corona period, you must have already heard about you should have the good immunity. You must have the good immunity. Okay, so how the good immunity is developed? By the nutrients. If your diet is balanced, if you are having the balanced diet comprises of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins, then they are known as nutrients, and by the nutrients, by the balanced nutrients, our immunity will be increases. Okay, so to have the good immunity, we should have the nutrients in our daily food. Okay, so I am giving you 1 minute time. Write down the definitions of nutrients. Okay, now what is nutrition? Now we are coming back to our point, nutrition. Nutrition is the process of intake, of intake of nutrients in form of food is known as nutrition. Is known as nutrition. What is nutrition? The process of intake of nutrients in form of food is known as nutrition. Okay, you must have word that nutrition value. We must have the good nutrition value. When we'll have a good nutrition value? When we'll have or we'll consume the nutrients in form of our food. Okay, so nutrition. Then next is how many type of nutritions are given in our syllabus. Okay, how many types of nutritions are there? So there are two types of nutrition. First is autotrophic nutrition and second is heterotrophic nutrition. First is autotrophic nutrition and second is heterotrophic nutrition. So nutrition are two types. First is autotrophic nutrition and second is autotrophic nutrition and second is heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, so autotrophic nutrition Clear? So the meaning of autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition will understand in detail. First, I will tell you what is the meaning of autotrophic nutrition. What is the meaning of the word autotrophic nutrition? Auto means self and trophic means the level of nutrition. Auto means self and trophic means the level of nutrition. Okay. Now, let us understand in detail. First type of nutrition is autotrophic nutrition. Okay, the word auto means self and trophic means level of nutrition. Okay, autotrophic nutrition. So how we define autotrophic nutrition? The mode of nutrition in which living organism prepare their food by own is known as autotrophic nutrition. Okay, when the living organisms prepare their food by their own, then that mode of nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition. Okay, so we can write the mode of nutrition in which organisms prepare their food by their own is known as autotrophic nutrition. Okay, autotrophic nutrition. The mode of nutrition, the way of nutrition in which plant prepare their food by their own is known as autotrophic nutrition. And autotrophic nutrition, example we can take first, plant prepare their food by photosynthesis. By which process? Photosynthesis. And second is BGA. What is the meaning of BGA? That is blue green algae. Okay, the mode of nutrition in which plant prepare their food, okay, is known as autotrophic nutrition, or the organisms which prepare their food by their own is known as autotrophic nutrition. First example is plant prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. We are familiar with the word photosynthesis. And second is blue green algae. Blue green algae also prepare their food by their own. The blue green algae also known as cyanobacteria. Okay, cyanobacteria. Clear? So this is the autotrophic nutrition. For 1 mark, if the question is asked for the 1 marks, explain or define autotrophic nutrition, then you will say autotrophic nutrition is a mode of nutrition in which plant or organisms, you can write organisms prepare their food by their own. Example, plants and blue green algae. Clear? Now we will understand in detail what is the meaning of photosynthesis, because the question can be asked in your board examination. Explain photosynthesis in detail. There can be a 3 marks question or 2 marks question. Okay. Now let us understand the meaning of photosynthesis. Now the word photosynthesis is comprises of 2 words. First is photo. Photo means sunlight, and synthesis. Synthesis means to produce. Okay, photo means sunlight. Okay, and synthesis means to produce. Okay, now photosynthesis? See, photosynthesis is a process in which carbon dioxide and water combines each other in the presence of sunlight and chloroform and prepare the carbohydrate as the food of a plant is known as photosynthesis. Okay, I am repeating it again. The process in which carbon dioxide and oxygen combines with each other in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll and prepare organic food in form of carbohydrate, and that process is known as the photosynthesis. Okay, see, there can be of two carbohydrates, that is simple carbohydrates or complex carbohydrate. Okay, but we have to just understand that the photosynthesis is a process in which carbon dioxide and water combine with each other in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and prepare the food in form of carbohydrate. That process is known as photosynthesis. How we can define photosynthesis? It is the process in which carbon dioxide and water combines in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll and convert them as carbohydrate. Okay, convert them as carbohydrate. Now, carbon dioxide and water combines in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll and this combined product of carbon dioxide and water is converted into the organic substance. In form of the carbohydrate is known as the photosynthesis. See, carbohydrate is a food which is stored in the plant in form of the starch. Clear? Now, the second question in your board examination would be explain photosynthesis with the help of balanced reaction. Okay, with the help of balanced chemical reaction. So, according to this definition, we can write the balanced reaction as carbon dioxide plus water combines with each other in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and produces, this is glucose and oxygen. This is a form of carbohydrate, that is glucose and oxygen. Now, how we balance this reaction? See, 6 carbon is there and here only 1 carbon is there, so we multiply it by 6. Then, how many hydrogen are there? 12. In the product, hydrogen, the number of hydrogen are 12. So, here 2 hydrogen is there. If we multiply this hydrogen by 6, there would be 12 hydrogen. Clear? Now we calculate oxygen. Now see oxygen. 6 2s are 12 oxygen plus 6 oxygen. That is total 18 oxygen. 12 oxygen and 6 oxygen. That is total 18 oxygen. So in right hand side, the product should also contain 18 oxygen. Now see 6 oxygen. Only 6 oxygen and 2 oxygen. 8 oxygen is there. But we want 18. So if we multiply this oxygen by 6, now see 6 2s are 12 plus 6, 18 oxygen. That means the reaction is balanced. So this question can be asked in 2 ways. First, define photosynthesis only. If it is for 2 marks, define photosynthesis with balanced chemical reaction. So the chemical reaction is carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll produces carbohydrate as a glucose and oxygen. It releases the oxygen. Now we say that plant releases oxygen or plant give us oxygen. Okay, so this oxygen is released in the environment. Since this oxygen is released in the environment, so we will get the pure oxygen by the process of photosynthesis. You can write. Okay, so the next is mechanism of photosynthesis. Mechanism of photosynthesis. If the question is define photosynthesis for 1 mark, so you have to write only definition, or explain photosynthesis with reaction, then the question can be of 2 marks. If the question is asked for 3 marks in examination, then you have to write the definition of photosynthesis, balanced chemical reaction for photosynthesis, and the mechanism for the photosynthesis. Okay, now mechanism of photosynthesis. Okay, we can understand by a simple diagram, for example. Okay. So this is the diagram, simple diagram by which we can understand the process of photosynthesis. See, sunlight and water. Okay, sunlight and water plus CO2. Sunlight, okay, and water plus CO2 are absorbed by the leaves. Sunlight is absorbed by the leaves, and you know that the leaves contain the chlorophyll. So the water and carbon dioxide combine in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay. Now see, the light are absorbed or trapped by the chlorophyll which is present in the leaves. Okay. The light is absorbed or trapped by the chlorophyll which is present in the leaves. Okay. And they prepare their food in form of the glucose. Okay. And we know that the final product of the photosynthesis is oxygen, which is released in the environment, and the glucose, which is formed as a food or as a final product of photosynthesis, then finally converted into the starch. And starch is stored in the form of food of plants. Starch is stored in the form of food in the plants. And one more thing, the starch can convert the color of iodine into the dark blue. A confirmatory test for the starch. is the starch can convert the color of iodine into violet or dark blue. Starch can convert the color of iodine into violet or dark blue. If anyone asks you how you can confirm that the plant containing starch, if the question is how we can confirm, how we know that the plant containing starch as a food, so we'll say when the starch is treated with iodine, then the starch converted iodine into dark blue color. Okay, so there is one activity for the confirmatory test of starch in the plant. So that activity we'll see in the next part of our chapter. Okay, so this is the diagram by which we can understand the mechanism of photosynthesis. There are a few points of mechanism of photosynthesis that will continue in the next lecture. I am repeating it again. Water and carbon dioxide combine in presence of light and chlorophyll. Light energy is trapped in the chlorophyll, and that light energy is converted into the chemical energy. Okay, and the oxygen which is released in the photosynthesis is released into the environment. Okay, and the glucose which is formed is converted into the starch. Starch is stored as a food for the plant, and second is convert the iodine into the dark blue color. Clear? So next part will continue. Thank you. That was all for today's lecture. I hope you have understood the first part clearly. Okay, if you not understood, you can ask the doubt in the Google Meeting app. Thank you for